What is up, guys? Welcome to Legacy TCG, back with some Edison. We've got a brothers show match. We have Wilson on the left playing Gladiator Beasts and Wilton playing Fairies. So both of these players are new to Edison. Wilson not so much, maybe like a couple months. But Wilton, this is like his first or second locals. And like, he's the type of new where like he didn't play when he was, a teen. Like he didn't play growing up. Like he just picked up the game and like learned it from scratch. So like it's very admirable that he's like even like attempting to start Edison or just Yu-Gi-Oh in general. So we're gonna see a lot of misplays. They're both learning their decks, so try not to take it too seriously. It's just like a fun video where these guys can look back and say, oh, this is where we started, and look where we are now, so that, and their brothers too, so it'd be a nice piece of like history to look back on when they get older. But yeah, so well, I think Wilton summoned Honest. He's like, oh, this isn't big enough, so he returns it to hand, which is good. He will summon D-Elk, banish DD Warrior Lady, and then swing onto the Sam Knight. Just big enough to deal with this beast. Wilson activates Hedge Guard, and in response, Wilton has the Herald of Orange Light. Sweet. Very good counter. We will push this through. 200 damage. Cool. So unfortunately, the Alchemist will shrink back down, so a lot of Gladiator Beasts can run over this dude. But yeah, Wilson's our baby Gladiator Beast player. There's a lot of things he needs to learn before like he becomes competent at the deck. But he's gonna put in the reps, and as long as he does, he can achieve whatever he wants. But we gotta put in the reps first. It's gonna go Prisma, reveal Geyseris, but the bestiary is in hand, and you actually can't do this play. Prisma states that you have to have specifically named monster on the fusion to pitch it. It can't just be a generalization, like can't be just Elemental Hero or Gladiator Beast. It has to be Gladiator Beast Bestiary, Elemental Hero Ocean, Elemental Hero, so on and so forth. So this is an illegal play, but it's okay. He's gonna learn. If there was like a player on the other side that knew what was going on, obviously they would correct it. And but it's Wilton, so he wouldn't know. And then Wilson is still learning. So he Book of Moons the Darius. I don't know if it leaves the field because it's face down. Does the quest like hop back? That's actually something I'm not sure of. It's possible though, right? If you know, just write it down in the comments. Because I know if it leaves the field, the quest like flies back with him, but it's face down. Is it technically leaving the field? It probably is, honestly. He's got a normal summon bestie. So this play, he should have just set the bestie, right? And then contact. Normal summoning the bestie, say if Wilton had the bottomless, he would have to waste a card to protect the bestiary. Whereas he can just set the bestie, wait for a response with from Wilton. If he has no response to the set, then he can contact. Just something that Gladiator Beast players can do to avoid interaction from the other player. So we'll go 24. And then this guy will tag out for a couple of Gladiator Beasts. He can go any Gladiator Beast except for Bestiary. Alright, so we're gonna go Darius, Special Sam Knight. I probably would have gone back into a quest, add Sam Knight to hand. This does, like, it is aggressive. It's very aggressive, but it's easily like answerable. So like, he can just use one card to kill Darius, sends back the other one. Whereas if he killed the quest, you still have the Sam Knight in hand. You can use that Gladiator Beast for later on. So He's gonna go into Herc. Put on some pressure. There's no monster in their way to deal with, so he'll go bottomless and then trap stun in response. Cool. So we will take 3,000. Huge hit. And pass to Wilton. Set into the back row, and that should be all she wrote. I don't think Wilton even is really sure that what like Herc does, so even if you activate it, he has cards in hand. He will pitch. He's got Rescue Cat, Marmello, like he's got all these like Glider Beasts in hand. He's chilling. And he will strike down his brother for game. All right, game 2. Let's see if Wilton can take one off his older brother. Cool, we go Nova Summoner face up. This will avoid no mana crossout. If he does, if Wilson does fight it, then he risks fighting with an Honest. But it looks like Wilson's hand's pretty bricky, all spells and traps, unfortunately. With a deck like Gladiator Beasts, a lot of them tend to run a very low monster count, high spells and traps. So if you can't get that first Glad Beast out, then it's a little tricky. Attack, and we'll Book of Moon. He's pretty healthy. I feel like you could just save the Book of Moon for something a lot more important, say like a Christia if it does come out. We definitely can get rid of this Nova Summoner as soon as we draw a monster. We can probably like tank like 1 or 2 hits before we have to like start conserving our life points. Okay, Nova Summoner goes in. And DD Warrior goes in. Excellent. Cool. So we have a monster, but it's not a monster that is really helpful at this moment. We go Prisma. Reveal. Should be Bestie, but he might do the quest, yeah. So an illegal play, but it's okay. They'll learn. Obviously, if like it was me on the other side, I'm like, oh, you can't do that. And that's how new players learn. They just kind of go through the motions, and the people who are more experienced, they'll tell them like this is how it works, and you just kind of go from there. So he tries to Chariot, but there's no Gladiator Beast, so you need to face up Gladiator Beast to attempt to activate that card. That, and I'm not sure if Soul of Purity Light activates anything at the moment. But yeah, there's 2 things. I don't know if Soul Impurity activates on like summon. I think it activates like during your opponent's turn, they lose 300 attack or something, and then that he just straight didn't have a Gladiator Beast. Heavy Storm, and he probably has a Starlight Road. He's at his wits' end. He's got to produce something on the board. The Gladiator Beast he did draw was the weakest one, unfortunately, in Marmillo. So, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to win the game. So, we'll attack. Was it 2200? I think. I'll say 2200. I'm not quite sure. I don't interact with that card quite often. The only time I see it is against like Paul when he's playing Christian Sworn. Okay, Herald of Orange Light. We'll synchro with Herald's Nova Summoner. Sorry, and then go into Bryonic. Pitch a card. Yep. Sweet, and he gets rid of the Stardust. So Wilton sees the line, finds the answer for the Stardust Dragon, and will attack. He'll press forward. All right. So he might be able to take a game off Wilson. That'd be pretty exciting for his first or second local. So Wilson goes Marmillo. He's gonna try to bait his brother into using an effect. So He goes effect, ditch 2 cards, and it will get charioted. So misplay by him, because we knew the chariot was there, but honestly, like, there's probably so much going on in Wilton's mind that he totally forgot that his brother flipped the chariot in the first place. And then if we do like decide to activate that effect anyways, just do 1 at a time. Only time you do like 2 or 3 at a time is like when you're in fear of your opponent reacting with like a bottomless or a compulse or something chainable, and you need to move things on the board. Then you pitch it all at the same time. But otherwise, when it's already established, you can just pitch once, see what happens, pitch again, see what happens. You know, not in a huge rush. But Yugioh hits the board. So Murmillo tagged into Darius. I think the correct play was to go a quest, get chariot back, set chariot, and pass. That way, when this Yugioh lands, he could chariot the Yugioh. But if he chariots the Yugioh, because it's adding with its effect, it goes back to the top, and he might just drop it again. So I don't know if that would be the proper answer, but it's better than this Darius, in my opinion. Yeah. So the effect will activate, but the other effect will activate to send it to the top of the deck, and then now when we draw on a turn, Wilson has to answer this this Yugioh. Okay, we'll attack. 16, 17. Cool. Okay, now he can tag, and then he can curate the grave. You can remove one of the fairies. We'll get rid of maybe Soul Purity. Okay, cool. And now Wilton has to find a way to add a fairy. So he goes a quarry where he can go a quest again and then get the chariot. So he needs to value his chariots more. That's like the bread and butter of Gladiator Beast, besides Bestiary. But you know, recurring the resources over and over and over again, grinding your opponent to oblivion. That's the squeeze. A lock. So he wants to test Tiger into something. Oh, okay. This is also illegal. Murmillo can't pop sets. It can only pop face up. So that's also something he needs to learn as well. But it's okay. He is baby Gladiator Beast. And Wilton is baby Wilton, so. But Wilton does not give up. He sets a card. And he attacks, and it is game. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, since both players are really new, they can't correct each other because they're not really sure what's going on. Yeah, Murmillo can only pop face ups. If he could pop sets, that'd be insane. That'd be so good. Like I'd fear for my life from this fish, but luckily it's only face up. And then the Prisma can only send named cards, specifically Bestiary, as part of Garzaris. And then can he send for Heraclinos? Probably. It probably says Laquari, but there's no real reason to send Laquari. So it's usually the Bestie target, test Tiger, get Darius, go Bestie, and then synchro or fusion into Geysers. But nonetheless, you know, I'm very proud of both these guys. They don't have a history with Yu-Gi-Oh in general. One of our guys taught Wilson to play, and then Wilson got into it, and then his brother wanted to join, so he taught his brother, and he has like no history. Like I saw him like normal summon his first monster. Like, you know, this game, it's not a game that like, it's a beautiful game, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things to learn, and it's very steep. So like, if I were to like, if someone were to come like talk to me and like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I play, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh in my off time. I'm like, oh, cool, that's interesting. And they're like, they ask me like, oh, would you teach me? I'm like, I wouldn't recommend learning this game. I would choose a different game. Honestly, the only reason we're playing is like we have a huge nostalgia for it. But I guess that's kind of not true because these guys are playing it. So I think it is a good game, right? It's just hard to get into initially. Whereas other games like say One Piece, I learned One Piece in like 30 minutes and I was fine, right? It's just like simple math. But this is a lot more intricate. There's like, you know, one normal summon, infinite special summons. You can activate as many spells and traps as you want, as long as you meet the conditions. Like, there's all these things, right? And there's some pretty degenerate decks too. But yeah, I'm glad these guys are here to like learn the game. The more the merrier is what I say. And yeah, eventually these guys will be hanging with the best of us, and it'll be a fun time. But for now, they got to go through the gauntlet, which we all run through at some point. But anyways, if you guys like the videos, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.